Hello, love. Welcome to your soul support message. These are messages for the highest and the greatest good of the Elsh Collective, empaths, light workers, starseeds, and healers. Those of us here on a mission, those of us here for the expansion of consciousness, for growth and spiritual evolution. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm going to get right into it. The Lyran Andromedans and one of my guides on their behalf coming through for this message. Interestingly, it is a Sunday, and we are talking about the Sun and Leo season in this particular message. Before I start, I'm going to tell you what crystals I'm working with here. I'm working with Apophyllite, bringing that energy now into this reading. Okay, the energies of Apophyllite. And Opal, and specifically Opal with a flash, right? You can kind of see that here. Really picking up on that fiery, sometimes they're called like fire opals or flash opals, right? Because the energy, interestingly enough, we're focusing, I'm just going to be looking off of my notes in the beginning here with the meditation. We're talking here about a divine feminine upgrade. That's what I heard. My guide coming through to say the flame of the divine feminine, and focusing this energy on the divine feminine flame, the fire that is within the divine feminine energy. And she showed me the Queen of Wands, wanting to address, this is what I've written here, aspects of polarity that lie within each other. Aspects of polarity that lie within each other, and that we have to look at this polarity of divine feminine and divine masculine as if it's a spectrum. And then I was shown the Judgment card again. This is the same Judgment card that came through last time, and she's reminding me to remind you and myself in telling you that the Judgment card is about awakening, right? It's about a spiritual awakening. It's about also, I'm hearing second chances, getting another opportunity, if that resonates with you, to start something over again with the knowledge that you gained from a previous cycle. And I kept on hearing gateway. She kept on showing it to me. And if you go back to that image, okay, I'll put a link again to the community post that I have with this image. It looks like a gateway. And immediately I asked her, does this have to do with a lion's gate? Because we are in that energy right now. And interestingly enough, the Lion's Gate is so connected to the season of Leo and the sun and the energies of the sun. And she doesn't really want to focus on that. She's saying that the energies right now are ramped up because of our sun. She wants us to focus on the positioning of our sun, the fact that we're still in Leo season, and that there's a collective energy around that, and that we're essentially getting an upgrade to our understanding of the divine feminine, to the understanding of healing around the divine feminine, and the fierceness and the creativity around the divine feminism, the dynamism, the dynamic aspects of the divine feminine. And then she showed me a lioness, okay, which is very, this is super, it's just very, very seemingly synchronistic. We're in Leo season. We are in the midst of Lion's Gate energies, okay? Some people see the Lion's Gate as a portal. Some people see the Lion's Gate as a vortex. She's showing me that portals exist everywhere, and that this energy is more of an amping up. Like, she's showing me a vortex. She's showing me this spiral funnel, almost like a tornado, right? Of energy that's hitting Mama Gaia. And it's very much connected to Leo season, and it's very much connected to the fact that Leo is ruled by the sun. And this goes into a lot of astrological stuff as well, which is too much, and she doesn't want me to get into that, too much to get into in this video. But she directed me to read to you from one of my favorite books on animal spirits and animal guidance, Animal Speak, because I remember this passage about lions and lionesses, and I'm going to read this section to you. So interestingly enough, the keynote for lion is, as you can see, the assertion of the feminine sun, okay? This goes really, or the power of the female sun is what I should say here, right? It says assertion of the feminine and the power of the female sun. What she's indicating here is that the female sun are the active aspects of the feminine. These are aspects of the feminine that are, she's one of the best analogies she's giving to me here that we can relate to, that we have very commonly in our culture and in our language, is like the mama bear instincts, the instincts of protection, the instincts of making sure that everything is done so that, like she's showing me a family situation, she's showing me a lioness hunting, making sure that her cubs are fed. And this is the section that I'm being directed to. Within the pride, the females are the best hunters. Although most lions are clumsy hunters by themselves, they have developed an excellent cooperative hunting technique. The females, though, do most of the hunting and the rearing of the cubs. The lion cubs lead a relatively carefree existence. Their parents are patient and affectionate with the cubs, and most individuals with lions as totems, so this may speak to some of you, will find those same qualities developing within themselves. Also, the males do very little work. They can be passionate and excessively jealous of the lionesses. They protect the pride against predators. When hunting, they use their roar to scare prey towards the waiting lioness. All right? What she's wanting to really focus on here is, this is about trusting in these aspects of the feminine, and also understanding that divine feminine energy, just like divine masculine energy, is incredibly dynamic. I'm going to read this last line for you. Trust your feminine energies, creativity, intuition, and imagination. These will add new sunshine to your life. Don't be afraid to roar if you feel threatened or intruded upon. And she really wants me to expand upon that last point, okay? Thank you, Ted Andrews. Love this book. We have this idea that divine femininity is, not everybody, but again, this is a sort of misconstrued aspect of the feminine, of being very passive, right? And 100% of the time always receptive. But what she's showing me is that there's a dynamism to this polarity that we need to recognize, and there's great potential at the moment. This gateway she's showing me, this gateway of energy, this awakening in that judgment card, awakening to the powers of the sun within the feminine. And interestingly enough, she's actually showing me the full moon. She's showing me the full moon now, reflecting the energies of the sun, and how these two work in tandem, right? The moon works in tandem with the sun. Mama Gaia works in tandem with the sun. The moon works in tandem with Mama Gaia. She's trying to give these like analogies to us as ways for us to understand the dynamic aspects of what divine feminine and divine masculine means. And that essentially this is about, again, a merging of these energies. Like I'm seeing the caduceus now, like, you know, this kundalini energy merging the two aspects of self, the divine masculine and divine feminine that exists within each and every one of us, okay? She also pointed me to obviously working with the energies of the sun with this, getting out and being in the sun, and also color therapy, blending yellow and orange, these sort of sacral solar plexus color energies, blending them together. She's showing me like peach colors, and working with those energies to really integrate this, okay? All right, so going to get right into the cards. I'm asking through the Starseed Oracle. This is what she's directing me to, and Pamela's mini deck, okay? Starting with the Starseed Oracle. So this is about this integration of these divine feminine energies, right? These dynamic divine feminine energies, and really owning them. Like, that's what she's showing me. And she's directing this specifically to women. She's also, though, saying this is a different kind of dynamism that also men can understand as well, right? That masculine energies can understand as well, okay? Look at that. I cut the deck and it's the Hadarian energies of codependency and boundaries. You got the love, okay? This goes back to stereotypical cultural indoctrination around what it means to be a woman or feminine. And this idea of codependency and having culturally and historically on Mama Gaia, women have had to physically rely on men in a very physical sense. When I say that, I mean like for protection because of the distortion of divine masculine energies and divine feminine energies. This is really interesting. This gets very, very complicated and difficult to describe, but we've set up a system essentially that's made women dependent on men historically. But that's actually not true, is what she's saying here. That's what it appears to be on the surface. We have to look at it more dynamically, because without men, there would be no women. And men wouldn't have the support of the women. But we've been putting too much of a spotlight on this idea that women need to depend on men. But it's much more dynamic than that. I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining this, because these are things that go really, really deep, and you can't cover them in one video, right? Like, you can't cover them in one message. She's showing me the number 3 now, and she's talking about that dynamism of the 3. This one wants to come out, called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. Okay, so that's about taking action. Ooh, that's a nod here to some of us who are very into their divine feminine energies at the moment, and thinking that the divine feminine energies are all about just simply going with the flow and allowing things to happen and allowing things to come to you. At some point, you need to take inspired action, though, right? Weight of the world. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry, okay? This is another nod to healthy boundaries here. She wants me to stop there with the water. Look at the bottom of the deck. Big picture thinking. Pleiades energy coming through here. That's that gateway. That's that gateway. Visionary, inspired ideas. So what this is a nod to right now is part of the expansion of consciousness that we are currently a part of. Has to do with the consciousness that we have had, that we have, and that we've inherited around what it means to be feminine and what it means to be masculine, and those stereotypes, okay? Big picture thinking. Pleiadian energy is obviously coming through to support us in this. They actually want us to look at divine love in a much more, wow, they want us to look at divine love in a more boundaried way. We have a misconception as well around that, what it means to, what we think of as being, okay, sorry, they're correcting me here, unconditional love, what that means, okay? This is a huge part of the empath journey. This idea that we have to, this is an aspect of the distorted feminine. So this idea that we have to give and give love and be there to support no matter what. And we put ourselves on the back burner for the sake of others, okay? Men and women both have this. This is not just something that women have, okay? Even though culturally, this is a huge thing amongst many cultures the world over, all over Mama Gaia. This is a thing that many cultures have when it comes to the way they see women, right? Self-sacrificing, boundless, right? We need to remember the boundaries. We need to understand that unconditional love is actually sometimes what looks a lot like tough love in the truest sense, is what they're sharing with me here. Thank you for that. This is the idea of standing firm standing firm on your ground, in your heart, centered, understanding that you are not responsible for everything that everyone else does, and knowing that the greatest gift that you can give to someone else is for them to step into their own power instead of trying to do that for them. It's a really difficult thing to describe. You know, it's like holding that person up, holding a mirror to that person to see how powerful they actually are. Not feeding into, and 3 crows just flying outside of the window. That's a huge nod to that. There's a huge transformation available to you for this. A huge transformation available to you for this, and understanding what that is. Okay. All right, asking for Pamela's deck now. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Okay, they want me to continue before I start talking about that. Ooh. 2 of Wands, that's that gateway again. That is that gateway. We're walking through a gateway. We're walking through a portal of this. There's a gateway here. There's something. How do you want me to turn? Okay. Okay. Magician in reverse. Okay. So, any more? Yeah. I'm going to do one more here. Whatever else wants to come out. She's that reversed magician is the distorted masculine. Okay. It's interesting because we've got the Wheel of Fortune, that's a 10. We've got the Magician, that's a 1. Okay, these energies are connected. These are both 1 energies. Divine masculine energies. Ace of Swords. Okay. And we've got the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so these are the energies. This is connected to this. These distorted energies of the masculine that have been so, like, she's showing me, like, solidified, so ingrained, solidified. This is how the 10 of Pentacles is coming out for this reading, okay? Very solidified, like think of institutions that are just like, they've been there for so many years and they're built up on this very masculine, but also distorted masculine energy. Imbalance is what she's showing me. Too much in the masculine, too much in those energies. And this is shifting. This is shifting. She's directing me actually to the energies up here. I'm seeing, yeah. I'm seeing, I think that it's coming through as like, I'm hearing like, I'm hearing angels of wisdom, but she's focusing on messengers here in the angels. And that's on my left, right? Looking at the card, that's on your left too. Energies coming from above. These are divine, feminine, almost like codes is what she's showing me. She's bringing me back to that vortex of light. These are divine feminine codes, and I'm hearing Sophia. Sophia, that's connected to the Gnostic tradition. These divine feminine energies and codes, there's an aspect of that that's connected to Mother Mary, and also Mary Magdalene, the Sisterhood of the Rose coming through, and also the Venetian energies as well coming through for that too. It's to rebalance this energy. It's to rebalance this energy. This is essentially what this is all about, so that we can walk through this portal. And this is coming through as this divine feminine fire, this 2 of Wands. And with this beautiful Ace of Swords coming through, this is a whole new way of thinking. This is divine intervention, a whole new way of thinking. I'm actually seeing a lightning bolt like hitting this sword. Archangel Michael making an appearance with this for sure. He's here with us in that respect. I'm also hearing like crown activation, energies coming to the crown. Anytime my Archangel Michael makes an appearance here, you can, it's almost like he's saying, call upon him if you need assistance in protection around these energies. And he's also showing me the divine masculine in its highest form, is what I'm hearing. He's actually showing this to me in contrast to these energies that I was showing you earlier, of this sort of like very solidified, very old, kind of matrixy, for lack of a better way of putting it, energies around what it means to be masculine, and how one of the aspects of true divine masculinity is very much like the energy of Archangel Michael. Protective, helps you see things clearly. And he's also showing me the dynamism of that and how it exists within a spectrum. On that spectrum, that polarity between divine femininity and divine masculinity, and how these are aspects that the feminine can have as well. It's so interesting. He's actually showing me a balance right now. I'm seeing scales. He's showing me a balance of how these energies pan out, and how he's showing me men and women, and how men and women can have more at different times in their lives and journeys. They can be more in their masculine and more in their feminine, and that it's all about the balancing. It's all about this balancing point. You know when you're starting to tip over too much, and he's pointing me back to this energy of being too much in this, you know, very receptive, divine feminine state and not taking enough action. And he wants me to end on this now. Because when you're called, you need to take action. Another gateway here, another portal. It's time to step up. It's time to step up. It's time to step up. Look at empathic starseed right under that. Look at that. It's, and then water your garden, right? With these beautiful waters, weight of the world. Being too caught up. I'm just gonna end with this, because where are we here? Okay. These gateways coming through. Okay. And my guide wants me to end on this gateway. There's something activating in this image. Big picture thinking. She's saying that if this feels really, I'm hearing like the word ominous and difficult, if it feels like a mountain to you, like if you see the mountain before you, okay? Remember the big picture. Remember the big picture. It's as simple as that. Remember the big picture. She's actually pointing me to moments. This is a specific message for some of you. I know I can relate to this, definitely. Moments in the past where you have been totally misunderstood. Totally misunderstood. People just don't get you. They don't get where you're coming from, you know? You've been written off. People go like, oh my God, you know? One of my favorites is, oh, that's a woo-woo shit. That's what you came here to shift. Remember the big picture. You came here to create a world where nobody has to actually deal with that anymore. Yep. Archangel Michael here with us with that, okay? All right, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for coming through for this. Thank you to my guide, and thank you to the Lyran Andromedan energies. These are the Lyran Andromedan emissaries of light, okay, that I work with. Remember that I always create sacred space, and I always call in messages and beings that are here for our highest and greatest good, okay? Messages of soul support. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation always.